Hello guys and welcome back to the STPL. You can see that Lottie has come up here to co-cast with me, so I'm kind of lucky. I have my wonderful cat here. She just moved the microphone for some reason. That's what cats do. They do what they want. So yeah, bonus co-caster here. Let's get into series number 2. It's going to be FBW versus Valhalla team. Obviously it's going to be very difficult to cast with my wonderful girl next to me, but fine. We'll figure it out as we have a look at Group B. So Group B is in a little bit of an interesting position here, much like Group A. Seoul Gaming are guaranteed to go through no matter what, so Seoul Gaming have already qualified in first place. But second place is up for grabs, so FBW, they're going to be playing their last game here. Okay, so looks like FBW and Valhalla team, I think depending on how the game goes, they may not be able to make it. This is going to be their final games. Mark and Mac, we did have Naz winning the last series, but it's well worth watching the final game in the ace match if you so choose to. I've got my cat head bumping me now, which is the cutest thing in the world, but I'm not going to show that. But yeah, so DM are really the main contender here. Bull team have done incredibly well in their group this time to make it into second place. Depending on how DM do in their final game, which is going to be on Monday, will change the outcome of this. But FBW and Valhalla team going to be fighting quite heavily here to try and make their way through. I don't think they can though, so a little bit awkward, but FBW and Valhalla team just missing out. Bull getting that final win has made it impossible for them to break out, unfortunately. But let's actually have a look at the matchup for today. Now I'm actually really struggling to see anything. Lottie, my wonderful cat, is sitting directly in front of me, so if I mess up on the production, let's call it a happy little accident. So having a look at today's matchup, we do have FBW versus Valhalla team. Now, FBW, really strong team. Valhalla team, very strong as well. Both the teams, FBW won the last time they played against each other. That was actually in round 3. Not really too much else to say. They're both tied in round stats for this round at least. And let's actually have a look at today's rosters. That's going to be the most exciting bit. Now, unfortunately, there was a walkover in game number 1, so I'm just going to remove that key matchup there and remove that one as well. So TT1 versus Marine. Unfortunately, TT1 didn't turn up at the specified time, so Marine did get that walkover. So Valhalla team start this with a 1-0 lead. Now, starting in game number 2, which is going to be our first game of today, we're going to have Hinaru versus SFCA. That's the two captains facing off here. Where they're going to have Faust versus Drew on the Mancha. That's going to be a ZVP, should be pretty fun. And then we're going to have a ZVP at the end as well, with Tempest versus Blue Janie. So, at least I think it's a ZVP. We'll find out when we get to it. I can't be too sure. With the lead, like Blue Janie was one of the new players that got added to proceedings. Let's actually have a look at our first player here. It's going to be the captain for FBW. It's Iru. Whoa, I lost my voice there. That was weird. I don't know if that came out. If I made a funny noise, like when I was talking, someone please clip it so I can listen to it back. Because in my head, that sounded so fucking weird. So weird. Apologies. I nearly swore. Okay, but Hinaru with only a 31% win rate, but has played so many games for his team. Actually 4 wins, 8 losses against Protoss, but he's obviously shown a lot of heart and a lot of guts to come out so many times and play so many games for his team. It's amazing. So okay, and his opponent spawning here for Valhalla team is their captain. Took over from Iradia when he departed the team at the end of round 3. He hasn't unfortunately won a game so far. He actually lost to Empate and Tech. Empate actually recently left Bull, so it could be possible we'll see Empate pull up on one of the other teams at some point. But probably going to be quite even here. Neither of the players kind of super outstanding or anything. A really fun set nonetheless. as we get into game number 1 here. Well, I guess it's game number 2. It's going to be on Neo Chain Reaction. Okay, so we do have our first map of today, or of this series. It's going to be Neo Chain Reaction. Valhalla team is starting with that 1-0 lead due to that walkover. A little bit unfortunate we had a walkover in week 7, but that's actually the first walkover we've had in a while. So we do have 2 CVPs here so far. Dragon took down Gogi, Bonnet took down Bobmu, and just earlier today, Eon Zerg, that wasn't this map, who played on this? It was... Okay, I can't actually remember who played the second game in the previous series. That's actually really worrying. That was only like an hour and a half ago. And yeah, so that's cool. Yeah, Norgrim took down Sugo on this map. I don't know why I thought Norgrim played against DeWalt, but that was Terra. So, obviously, really looking forward to seeing this game. Let's actually not waste any more time. Let's get into game number 1. As the captains face off, it's Hero for FBW versus SFCA for Valhalla team. Okay, so starting us off here in the right hand side of your screen, we do have the yellow Protoss fighting for his team, Valhalla team. It's going to be SFCA. And his opponent spawning here in the 9 o'clock position. We do have in the teal, it's Hiro. Now, okay, I wonder if I can get away with this. I know I'm moving away from the game for just a second, but I really want to see if you guys can see this. Can you see her like head bobbing around? She's chasing the mouse around my screen. It's really hard to cast when she's sitting here like this. Yeah, like ears moving. Okay, let's get back into the game. I don't know why Lottie has just decided recently that she really likes looking at the mouse on the screen. She is 17 years old and it's only been like the last 6 months that she started doing this. But I'm going to be casting from around my cat. So this is going to be kind of funny. So we've got a spawning pool coming in here for Hero back in SFCA's base. He is just building his pylon. Should see whether or not he's going to go for Gateway first or Forge. But now Lottie's watching the probe moving into the base quite intently. She's keeping an eye on that, making sure to keep watch. Obviously, it's useful having a co-caster, but when it's a cat who unfortunately can't speak English, it becomes a little less useful. Oh no! Oh, that's so adorable! She just like patted the drones. I don't know why. I guess Lottie's a Zerg fan. So Hiro, you have a fan in Lottie. I don't know if you're watching, but I now can't see the minimap. And for anyone who's sitting in the audience saying, just move the damn cat. Clearly you do not have a cat. You don't simply move the cat. It's not something you do. You kind of have to put up with this. And we are going to have double cannon, I think. Yeah, I just had to sort of lean sideways over my cat. And back at the Zerg base, we actually do have a little bit of a lingle, well, not necessarily an all-in, but there is a 9 pool. There's a lot of, well, this was an earlier pool than 9. That would have been like a 7 pool or a 6 pool maybe, but here we go. Looks like a lot of links moving forward. Going to be running into 2 cannons. So if the links can break in before the cannons are done, maybe Hero can take a quick win here, but unfortunately not. He is going to be able to go for this gateway though, but with the cannons finishing up, Lottie is staring intently at the links, so I imagine she's going to pat away at those in a second. But SFCA going to take a little bit of economic damage there from that engagement, just because he did have to force so many probes off the line. Now he did cancel his gateway, so maybe just wanting to go into a little bit of a quicker nexus, but obviously that's a pretty big win for Hero. He's going to get up his second hatchery completely unattended. Now Lottie, I'm going to have to ask you to move out of the way, because I actually do need to see what's going on. As much as that was a cute interlude, we are in a serious series here that's actually important for both teams. And as much as I could sit and talk about my cat all day, unfortunately there is one. Fortunately and unfortunately, there is some StarCraft going on. Now, just one last commentary on my cat. Lottie has decided she would move. She swagged the tail at me, hit me in the arm a few times, and now she's gone back to watching the game. So, Lottie is definitely a StarCraft fan as well. We did have a little bit of a pause here in this game. Hopefully that won't have caused any problems. Now, in terms of cat commentating, Lottie's got bored of me talking into her ear, so she has moved elsewhere. She's probably going to go and get herself comfortable on the bed. Now, if you do want to support Lottie, you can actually sub to the channel, and as a tier 1 sub, you get access to 2 of our wonderful emoticons. One of them is the 6-minute curse, and the other one is Lottie's wonderful face. I'm just going to spam that just because of how cute it is. There we go. That was a photo I took a little bit ago, like a couple of months ago, and I made it into an emote. It looks like the probe did manage to make the spawning pool bleed. I'm fairly certain it's a little bit over-exaggerated on the Zerg way of things, but we do have that probe scouting out everything it needs to. Gateway finally on the way. Let's see if SFCA is going to go for, well, I guess he doesn't have a core yet, so we're going to need to wait for the core to come in before we see if he's going to go straight into Citadel or if he's going to go into Stargate. Stargate has definitely been the more normal one. We've seen a good number of PvZs today. Obviously, most of them end up in a similar fashion, so hopefully we'll see a nice long PvZ here. Now, still, there is the option for Hero of going for like a big Hydra bust. He's actually going for 3 hatcheries. He's going for his Hydra instead in the natural. The probe hasn't actually scouted this, so this is really, really good scout denial by SFCA, because without seeing this probe, or without seeing the Hydra Den, he's not going to be able to get a Zealot out on the map for any long period of time. Now, core is coming up. Probe is still alive. Now, is the probe going to be able to get out of the base? It looks like SFCA just wants to keep it alive. Let her cast. If I could make Lottie cast, it'd be amazing. I think she'd be a good caster. She only like hypes up the bit she needs to, and then like pats at the screen. Obviously, like if I was to get like Lottie to cast, I'd have to put a webcam on her so she could like look around the screen as I'm observing, and she could point out stuff to you guys. That'd be so amazing. But yeah, that's gonna be very difficult. Cats are very fickle creatures. When they want to sit in front of the screen, they'll do it. When they've had their fill, they'll go somewhere else. Now, we are going to see a Citadel first this time from SFCA, so that's going to be a very, very quick Templar Archives. Very, very quick. Oh, wow, he doesn't get the probe out either. So it's either going to be a very quick Templar Archives for DTs, or he's going to go straight into Storm. But the trouble is, skipping Corsair here is actually a dangerous precedent, because all of a sudden you don't actually have any scouting information, and yeah, that's actually difficult. So let's see exactly how this is going to play out. No +1 attack is coming in for SFCA yet. He's going straight into Templar Archives. Speed for his Zealots is coming in with +1. I saw +1 start at the end of that little click interjecture here. Hero is going in for 3 hatches. He's building a lot of Hydralisks off of these 2 bases. Economy isn't too bad, so it's not a massive all-in or anything. But he's already forced a lot of cannons in here for SFC already. I think the Templar Archives is going to be the main deciding factor on whether or not this can actually work, because Storm is still a little bit of a ways off. It's obviously going to be a little bit quicker than when you'd normally see when you'd normally see like an Overlord, but when you would see sorry, a Stargate first. Solo casting really taking its toll on my voice here. You'll have to forgive me. Just one second. Looks like we are going to have a Hero pushing in. Whoa. Water's great, but really could do with some apple juice right now. But yeah, looks like we are going to have the gateway getting targeted down by Hero. He's going to be able to go for the Forge as well. Unfortunately, this Hydra, despite being close. It's actually not firing, but the gateway going down is going to be annoying. We're going to have another 3 cannons being forced out. Hinru is going to be forced to pull back with his Hydras, so good moves by SFCA. Going to see if he can get as much damage down on these Hydras as possible. He's not going to cancel the extra cannons. He's going to get a very good engagement there with those Hydras. Now in Game 1 of Series 1 we saw today, we saw that Dragon was actually stuck on one base for a very, very long time against Jerry because he was contained like this, but then all of a sudden Dragon had this massive army and he pushed out and he just won the game. So let's see if that's what SFCA can do here. We don't actually have any Dark Templars or anything like that to sort of fall back on. There's no Robo. There's still no Stargate. So he is going to be relying entirely on Storm and Zealots here. I wouldn't say that's the most common way to play ZVP. Obviously it's a very, very possible way. But much like it is to play Mass Hydra, you need really, really good control to play Zealot Templar. And we do have the Zealots moving forward, getting a couple of Hydras, taking a lot of damage to their shields. But obviously the shield is going to regen. So a lot of these Zealots are quite low on health. Obviously you don't want to be losing those when it's all you've been building this entire time. You kind of need to make sure the unit count continues to grow. We've got the gateway coming in. We're starting to see some Dragoons being produced. Still no third base for Hinru. Looks like he's going to try and break his way through here. This is actually 40 minerals, so you do need to mine this out. It's not like a stacked 0 minerals thing like you see on Heartbreak Ridge. You do need like a good number of drones to actually take this down, and realistically taking this out isn't really going to do too much. I think he planned to take a third base and then hit the drone and then maybe kind of forgot about it, but we do have this Overlord going to go down. If there's actually no Overlords up here, then maybe DTs could actually come into effect. No Overlord speed has been bought yet. Going for Overlord speed now. The reason why this is so important is because Hinru is spending a lot of his APM on his Hydras at the front. He's actually got a lot of idle drones, so that's a massive, massive deal. And SFCA is continuing to grow. Now, unfortunately this drone is still down here. There we go. It looks like he is going to start mining away at this, but okay, maybe he thought that was going to be mining quicker, but unlike on another map, it takes a very long time to get through here, and then you're going to have to do it on the other side as well. So, looks like we are going to have SFCA move forward. Let's see what the Storm's like. Good Storm on those top Hydras. Good Storm on the bottom Hydras. A little bit of a better dodge. We're running into another Storm. And SFCA, with an absolutely fantastic engagement here, is going to take down all of those Hydralisks. And he's also going to take down Hinru. GG! That's the end of game number 1. Well, game number 2, I guess, so that's a little bit unfortunate there for FBW, a little bit unfortunate for Hinru, but unfortunately he didn't go into lair quick enough. His all-in didn't really do the damage it needed to, and when you end up in a situation like that, you kind of either have to do damage or kind of mass expand behind it, and he didn't really, well, he wasn't really able to do anything, and SFCA, with a really amazing Storm, come back in the game, so what else can you say? As we get into game number 2, I'm actually going to load it up right away. Or game number 3, I guess. It's going to be Faust versus Drew, and it's going to be on La Mancha. See you guys in just a second. Well guys, we are back. I notice there's 107 plucky people in the audience all watching the STPL. If you want to help the STPL grow, please tell your friends, get them to come and play as well. or play and watch, because that'd be amazing. So let's see our next couple of players here. It's going to be for FBW. It's the king himself. Well, I say the king. I don't know whether he's really the king. He's more like Scar, possibly, I guess, if we're thinking Lion King terms. It's going to be Faust. Now, Faust, a strong Zerg player, was certainly stronger when he first appeared in the scene. He's actually not had the best. He's not had the best win ratio in the STPL. He's actually only on 14% wins. When he first burst out into the scene, he was actually doing really good in any tournaments, and then kind of dropped out in the STPL. So let's see how he's going to do here against his opponent for Valhalla team. It's going to be Drew. Now, Drew only has a 25% win rate himself. He actually did beat a Protoss player, but he did lose against the only Zerg he played, which was actually Dragon, so not really any shame there. In terms of map, we're going to be going on to La Mancha. So La Mancha, a very standard 4-player map. This is going to be our it's going to be our 7th ZVP. We're actually at 6-1 to Zerg, so Faust is heavily statistically favoured on this map. Now, whether or not Faust can pull that win home is yet to be discovered. As we get into our next PvZ of today, I sure hope you guys like ZVP, because there is a lot of them today. It's going to be Faust versus Drew. Okay, starting us off here in the top left-hand position, we do have the yellow Protoss fighting for Valhalla team. It is Drew. And his opponent spawning here for our Zerg player. For FBW even, it's going to be Faust as our Zerg player. And there's not a swastika, there is a windmill. It's a windmill, guys. It's not a swastika. Don't say it's a swastika, because the more Blizzard thinks it's a swastika, they're not going to put it on ladder. And we want La Mancha on ladder, man. It's a really, really good map. I know TT1 loves this map as well, so hopefully we'll get to see it on ladder one day. Yes, it does bear a resemblance to a swastika, but it was in a Blizzard tournament, so hopefully we'll get lucky. Now, Faust is known as, okay, so in America you have the Cheese King, which is Michael. He's not been as active recently, but then you have Tai 2, who is the Cheese Prince. And then you have Faust. Now, Faust is kind of, when Faust appeared in the scene, he played a lot like Tai 2. He still plays a lot like Tai 2. Tai 2 ended up becoming one of like the top foreigners at the moment, especially one of the top NA players. But Faust, he went inactive for a little bit. His skill depreciated a little bit as well, but he's still a good player. He claims that if I play against him, I will win a TVZ, when my TVZ is my worst matchup. So let's see if Faust is actually as low down on the ladder as me as he thinks he is, because the reason why I don't play in STPL, despite technically being on 2 of the teams, is because I am not good. Like, I would not bring a win for my team. Now, Faust has brought wins in the STPL for his team. Faust is going to be going for 3, well, it's going to be 3 hatches eventually. We're going to take his 3rd base as natural in a really, really nice position. It's going to be really, really far away from Drew. Not a real big fan of those pylons. Oh, Faust. Faust. The one and only. The meme. It's all good. So, 3rd hatchery going to come up here for Faust. That's exactly what we need to see. Only a single cannon for Drew. Gateway going to be coming in. That is link tight, so doesn't have to worry about that too much. Faust with a good number of drones back at home, actually only opting to go for 2 lings straight away. Not going to run off to get like 6 lings or anything and try and break the wall. I mean, Drew could of course use this against Faust, maybe go for like a hidden cannon rush, but that's not really something you see too much anymore. It's, you know what? Okay, I have seen 500 games, I think, plus in the STPL. The STPL has now been going for a year. We started in the end of March. We're now in the end of March in 2019. And I don't think I've seen a single cannon rush. How is that possible? How has nobody cannon rushed anyone? Surely there must be a cannon rush game. If you're in the audience and you remember there being a cannon rush game and I just can't remember, please do let me know. Because I can't think of a single cannon rush. How crazy is that? We've got, like, round 1 and 2 were basically all Protoss players and no one cannon rushed. What the heck? What are we looking at? How is this? Yeah, okay. Well, I suppose we can't all get what we want. But cannon rush, not the best build anymore. Obviously, people have figured out how to defend it pretty well. And now looks like we've got the natural expansion coming up here for Drew. Faust, obviously back at home, going into a third hatchery, going into a lair, so playing a little bit more of a macro style. And the second extractor coming up here for Faust. This is actually pretty quick, so it wouldn't surprise me to see him go into some kind of user build, but he is going for Hydralisk, so I guess we are just going to see lurkers pretty quickly from him. Now, Faust is the kind of player to play certainly interesting styles. Protoss players are being honest. If they were being honest, they would be cannon rushing everyone. That is the true honesty of a Protoss player. 2-gate, cannon rush, let's do it all. Let's be as horrible, as cheesy as possible. No. Thing is, all the Protoss players in STPL, they've actually like shown really good games. And honestly, the STPL has made me like PvP, and I never ever thought I'd like PvP. So we've got one drone going down in the natural, or 2 zealots, 2 kills actually now on the zealot. Third one was a Ling, I think, earlier on. And this is really good harassment by Drew. Now, unfortunately, his second zealot going to go down, but this zealot going to chase down this Hydra. He wants to kill. Looks like the probe actually got the first hit on that, but should really go into the main if he can. Looks like he wants to try and eke out as much damage as humanly possible. Faust is only mining off of one of his bases right now, so this is going to be a very important moment in this game for Drew. Drew looks like he could get another drone. Looks like the zealot's going after the drone, running into a position it doesn't want to be in, getting a little bit too greedy, not going for one of the other ones. And unfortunately that's going to be the end of that harassment. But back here at the third base, the Lynx have been taken down. Another drone has gone down. Looks like all the rest of the drones will be saved. This Hydra being the absolute king. But the first Corsair coming in here, there is no anti-air. Well, let's say that there's actually a Hydralisk right there. Another couple coming in. But this is going to be at least 1 dead Overlord, it looks like. Nope. Well, it's already 1 dead Overlord. Looks like it was going to be 2, but not quite. Looks like Faust has done what he needs to do to repel the harassment for the time being. But Faust is actually finding himself supply blocked. He doesn't have any additional tech up just yet. No Spire is on the way. I don't believe he went into Lurkers already, so yeah, looks like he's going to Lurkers now. He started range and then actually decided against it. So going into Lurkers, a little bit scary actually in this position, because you don't have that many Hydras, and without range they're never really going to be able to catch the Corsairs. This is going to be the big moment in the game, so we're going to see another Overlord go down. One of the Corsairs is going to take heavy damage, so that is a little bit of a benefit here for Faust. Wait, was it? Yeah, it must have been range that was late. I think he already has speed. But looks like he's going for another. Oh, one of the Corsairs goes down, but could he get another Overlord? That would actually be a massive deal. Looks like he's not willing to risk lose the Corsair. Does need to keep that alive, just in case there is a big Mute switch later on. But looks like we do have 4 gateways coming into the main here for Drew. Drew does have his Templar Archives up, going for Templar with Storm. Citadel with speed coming in as well. And Drew, I mean, back at home is just playing perfectly normal. Obviously all this harassment has been doing a lot of damage, been kind of picking at Faust in ways that maybe Faust hasn't been picked at before. Had his drones pulled all over the place, and Faust hasn't really been able to get that macro going that he really wants. But unfortunately, Drew's supply where he's actually lost so many of those zealots early on is not that high. So Drew doesn't have that many units. He's got a lot of cannons, but there's no range on these Hydralisks just yet. Range, I don't think he's realized that range hasn't started. That's really unfortunate. I've done this before. Forgetting your upgrades is a big problem, but the thing is that cannons are set so far back that he doesn't even need range. This is how clever Faust is. Look at this, the no range build, gonna get the forge, gonna get the gateway at the front. Needs range. Am I right, guys? Am I right, everyone? I don't know. But it looks like we are gonna have a storm. Oh my god, that storm is huge. That one lone surviving Hydra is not going to live to tell the tale. I was going to say that's kind of like, there's that Pirates of the Caribbean movie where the whole thing is like dead men don't tell tales or something. That's the whole premise of the film. And you know what? Like, that was almost that Hydra, but that Hydra went down anyway. So we do have Lurkers pushing in on that forge. That's going to set up a relatively strong contain. Now, unfortunately for Faust, the Zealots have run past all of his units. They've seen everything that's going on. There's actually one Lurker back in here for defense, so Drew is going to have to run away from this, I feel. It looks like he is going to try and go for as many drones as possible. Obviously, with this Zealot, or with this Lurker here, it's going to be very difficult. The Hydra is going to clean everything up as well. But getting 4 drones off of the back of that, a little bit of a win here. Now, is this going to be a Lurker drop? Yes, it is. A Lurker drop coming in here from Faust. He's going to be able to get into the main. Dragoons not able to move into it to intercept. Oh wow. Is Drew sleeping? What's happening? Oh no, the Lurkers in the main. Oh! Oh wow, wait. How did he only kill 5 probes? How? How? If that was my SCBs, they'd all have died. I don't believe it. The cannon coming into the main gonna clean this up. And that's actually a little win here for Drew. But 2 Lurkers killed 5 probes. I didn't know that was possible. Surely something weird went on there, but we've actually... Oh, loading up one of the Lurkers. This could be a little bit of a mistake, but it looks like he wants to go in from another angle. You can see a pylon being added on at the back. There's actually 2 cannons watching this mineral line, so if this Overlord goes in that direction, he is going to have a problem. But just have a quick look at what's going on in the Zerg base for the moment. We've actually got 3 here we go. It looks like we are going to see the Lurker drop. Okay. Okay, that's looking a bit healthier. That was good. He gets a decent amount of damage. Oh wow, he even kills the cannon. That was unfortunate. That Lurker nearly got away with that, but here we go. Looks like we are going to have a storm drop over the back. There's only going to be 1 High Templar though. He doesn't have storm? He must have storm. He didn't storm! And he lost the... Oh, okay, it looks like he was trying to push out at the same time, trying to divide Faust's attention, but it's not going to be enough. Faust doing a really good job keeping his multitask up here. For someone with 200 APM, Faust is doing a really good job keeping on top of everything. And with the hatchery going down in the 4th base, with a perfect defense in his main, Faust is looking in a winning position in this game at the moment. He's actually up in supply on our Protoss player. He's done a decent amount of probe harass, obviously not getting a huge number that I thought he might do, but he's forced cannons. We're going to have double upgrades coming in here at the back here for Drew. He's actually on +2-0, so he's going to be on 2-1 in just a second. Oh no, there's actually no Lurkers back here. He's dropped all of his Lurkers in the base, so there's going to be no Lurkers to try and deal with this. Now he does have some now. He's going to have to burrow immediately. Nice storm on top of 3 of those Lurkers. There's actually an Observer here. He needs to snipe the Observer, but the Observer now going down. The Observer somehow managing to survive. Gets him 3 free Lurker kills, only losing a single Dragoon. And yeah, Faust is... I can't explain this game. I can't actually tell who's ahead. They're both incredibly evenly matched. Both of them have been having a few problems with their multitask throughout the game, but looks like we are going to have a push in from Drew. He's going to try and push way forward. Good storms coming in from Drew. Faust taking a lot of damage, but looks like Faust is going to push Drew back once again. Okay, so we are going to have the High Templar moving out into the Lurker, going into an Archon, but that's not a unit that's going to help him for the time being. This Archon is actually going to go down. Lurker's getting in position. The Observer finally goes down. That's going to make this very difficult to break out. This Lurker only with 2 kills, but it's getting it harder and harder as the game goes on. Now, Drew doesn't actually have that many units now. Faust is going to be pumping off of, I believe he's up to 2, 4, 6, 7 hatcheries now. He's up against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gateways. No third base as of yet for our Protoss player. Corsair coming back out for the first time in a while. Gonna see if he can go scout the other bases. Obviously these drones gonna transfer down here to start mining. No hive. No additional tech coming in for Drew. He's not going for carriers or anything crazy like that. He's gonna go into 3, 1, 1, which is a strong upgrade here for Protoss. Still no +2 armor. I guess he's just going to focus on the more important upgrades for now. Obviously, a big drop coming in from Faust. This is the kind of move that could decide the game. Now, Drew didn't quite see that on his minimap, so this drop is going to be able to get in. It's going to be able to get on top of the pylons here, but unfortunately, there's not actually a full drop, so not really going to be able to do too much damage with this. The cannon back here should actually be enough to deal with a decent number of these Hydras. A little bit of a flop drop there by Faust, I'm not going to lie. Drew doing a really good job defending that, but kind of Faust threw that away. Now it looks like we are going to have Faust move in behind this. All the units get pulled into the main, so Faust jumps forward, jumps on top of the cannons, but a huge storm by Drew. Going to take out a lot of Hydras, do a lot of damage to the rest. And I mean, Faust continues to hold his contain here. Is this gonna... Oh, I thought that was going to be a probe. I thought he was going to try and sneak a 4th base, but really good defense by Drew. Okay, it looks like we're going to have another push out by Drew. He's feeling a little bit more confident in his units. Good storm on the bottom Hydras, but still not enough Zealots to push forward. He doesn't actually have another Observer here, so he can't push into the Lurkers. And 3 more Lurkers coming in hot. They're going to be able to help with this contain exponentially. Well, exponentially is the wrong word, but good storm energy once again. And yeah, wow. Yeah, it's actually you. Good to see you here, but yeah, looks like Drew going to be pushing forward into Faust's army. 3 more Overlord, or 3 more Lurkers down here at the bottom. Going to be doing a lot of damage to these Zealots as they push in. The Overlord coming in here. Lots of Dragoons still left over. Let's actually have a look at the health of these Dragoons. Once again, Drew getting a really good engagement. Faust finding it really hard to trade evenly. But obviously there's still kind of a semi-contain here. Faust isn't able to do any damage. He does have his 4th base up and mining. But the army of Drew is getting stronger. The 3-1-1 upgrades still not finished. +3 attack nearly done. But he should be getting some extra upgrades. Trouble is he's still stuck on 2 base, so even though Faust is losing the battles, at the moment he's winning the war because the economy is slowly starting to dry up here. Now, good storm on those bottom 2 Lurkers, actually not managing to get the final one. There we go, does go down. Don't want to actually skip away from this for just a second, but here we go. Looks like the Lurker, or the units from Drew, are going to be pushing forward. Good storms once again. Good engagements by Drew, but he is slowly starting to feel the tides turning. Whoa, seeing that, more Zealots come in to reinforce. They are going to be able to jump on top of the units. +3 attack is now finished. And this is a big timing because Drew is going to force the Hydralisk back. He's going to be able to send a probe up here to take a 3rd base. And this is the moment that Drew was waiting for. It reminds me a lot of Dragon versus... Wow, how have I forgotten? Dragon versus Jerry in Game 1 of Set 1. I mean, I've been casting for about 2.5 hours now, so things are getting kind of crazy, but it's cool that we've got 107 people watching this amazingly played game by Drew. Faust has done a pretty good job, obviously has the economic advantage, but Drew is going to double expand now. He's going to try and force his way through, see if he can take down more of the units. Huge thanks for the people who have followed as well. Every follow does help. Do tune in whenever the STPL's on if you want to support the show, because The more viewers we get, the more likely we are to get sponsorship as well, and that's going to be better for the scene overall. So I know the timer cast is a little bit weird for a lot of people, so I do appreciate every single person who does manage to tune in and watches the STPL, because it is a really massive help. Now, Faust is adding on some additional hatcheries. Let's see what his tech path is at. He's still at lair. He is going into the Queen's Nest, so Faust is going to be able to deal with this. Now, Faust is adding on a ton of lurkers. He's going to try and use the fact the lurkers are strong to hold back Drew's army. Drew doesn't look like he wants to push for now. He's just going to kind of chill, get his extra couple of bases up. He's actually going to get a lot of cannons over here, secure this base and this base as well. Huge thank you to Turbo. You've been in this chat for many weeks. How have you not followed the channel so far? I'm actually surprised that you've not managed to follow before. I swear you've been here for weeks, but I don't know. I guess you just got a cool name, so it's all good. But looks like we are going to have Faust moving forward a little bit like Jadong in the KSL Finals. Not burrowing as lurkers, unfortunately. Could this be the move that lost Faust the game? I'm not too sure. But 3-1-1 upgrades are done. The lurkers are actually getting thinned out. A huge storm. Oh my god, that storm was massive. And Drew's pushing his way forward. The army is huge at this point for Drew. Faust is on so few units. There's actually a lurker here going to be doing a lot of damage to the zealots, but not going to be enough to hold against the overwhelming pressure. But three lurkers coming in from behind. A fourth one gonna go down, and it is going to be enough, at least for the time being, to make Drew fall back just a little bit. And here we go. Looks like we are going to see the Protoss push back in. I think the Observer actually went down. That's why he can't deal with the Lurkers anymore. But a great storm going to take out this Evolution Chamber. Upgrades only 2-0 done for our Zerg player here. The third base is up and running. The main is mined out. The natural is mined out. So Drew is actually only on one base now. The drones are doing their best to try and hold on to this ramp. We're going to see another couple of Hydras coming in. Obviously, this isn't a massive army here from Drew anymore, so we are going to see a few reinforcements coming down, but it's mainly High Templar. And High Templar are good units, guys, but on their own, they're not that powerful. But Faust is still up against the ropes, because the more units that go down, the harder and harder this is going to be for Drew. Still no fourth base up yet. This is going to be the... Wait. Why is he pulling his probes? I guess he's just going to distance mine over here. I guess there's no real reason not to, but a lot of zealots going to be going to push on top of these Hydras. Now we do have 3 storms available. That's going to be a couple of storms. Wow, he stacked it, but there we go. Still does get the lurker. GG. Faust taps out. Drew with a really well played comeback there against Faust. A great engagement. A great couple of engagements, actually. Gonna take down Faust to give BT the 3-0 victory. Now, if you've not watched the STPL before, now is a good time to learn that if there's a 4th game played, it does count towards the overall standings, even if one team has already won. So we're going to get into game number 4. When we get back, it's going to be a ZVZ between Blue Genie and Tempest. So see you guys in just a second. Don't go anywhere. Okay guys, welcome back to the STPL. My name is Kix. You're joining me for the final game of today. It's going to be FBW's Tempest versus Valhalla Team's Blue Ginny. It's going to be a ZVZ, despite what the overlay says. It looks like Blue Ginny subbed in for one of his teammates. So let's actually have a look at both our players' histories. One of them is an entirely new player, so there's not going to be too much on him. But starting here is going to be Tempest. Tempest, really cool guy. He is very active in the STPL Discord. The FBW Discord. He's not actually played all that many games for his team. The first ever game he won, he beat Noob. I think that may have been a walkover. But then he lost his following 3 games. Huge thank you, Mizio Physio, for the $5 donation, man. That really does mean the world. Every little bit helps, especially because I'm moving house soon as well. And I'm trying to move house and save up for a new PC, so hopefully I'll be able to do that. Nice to see so many new followers today as well. And Fuji, it's probably going to be Monday. We'll find out who the playoffs are going to be, so I'll let you know. Fujikura, or Dazaneri, is the team leader of Seoul Gaming, so what I can confirm is you're going to be up against Naz. Wait, no. You're going to be up against IRK. But either way, that doesn't matter too much. So let's actually have a look at our second player. It's going to be Blue Ginny. Now, Blue Ginny, brand new player for VT. Don't know how good he is. Don't know where he's from. But we'll find all that out in the near future. So let's get in to our fourth and final map of today. It's going to be on Neo Medusa. So Neo Medusa, our 3-player map of the tournament for round 4. On the ladder, so you may have seen this a lot recently, does spawn all the way back from the 2008 to 2009 Pro League. So it's a really wide. I don't like calling this really old, given the fact there's been not that many new maps that have come out since like 2011. I'd like to say this is kind of a contemporary map, but I guess it is old at the end of the day. But maybe, if I'm admitting that Neo Medusa's old, then I'm admitting that I'm old, and that's something that I don't really want to do. I'm only 29. I'm not 29 yet, I'm 28. Wait. Yeah, I'm 28. Okay, we're fine. I forgot my own age, but it's all good. Let's get into game number 4. It's Tempest versus Blue Ginny, and it's going to be a ZVZ. And typically, didn't actually start the game up. So, let's get going. You get all the cool countdown this time. Just need to make sure I hide the replay progress bar as soon as we get in, because we won't spoil anything. Starting us off here in the top left-hand position, we do have the Teal Zerg fighting for Valhalla Team. It's going to be Blue Ginny. And his opponent spawning down here in the bottom left. It's going to be our Zerg player fighting for Foreign Brood War. It's Tempest. Yeah, the cast of rain. I've like got to the point where I don't know what I'm saying anymore. It's been 2 hours, 45 minutes, 2 hours and 45 wonderful minutes, I would say. We've had a lot of really good people in chat. If for the final game of the STPL today you want to help the STPL grow a little bit, why not get your friends in to watch this amazing ZVZ? Because ZVZ is a fun matchup. I know a lot of people. Yeah, okay, that is a good point, Herbmon. Just to point out, there's been some really cool names like DXD, that was Kimchi. And it really does make it hard. That's why I've started to say that people need to use their clan tag and they need to use their proper ID. So it makes my life easier. But even then, we have players that I'm probably saying the wrong name. I don't know if it's Blue Ginny, Blue Ginny. I don't actually know. If someone in chat, Drew, you're on Valhalla Team, can you tell me how to say it? Because I genuinely do not know. Like, I have no idea. But either way, Tempest is a nice, easy name to say. Now, we've got Spawning Pool and Gas coming in for Tempest on 9 supply. So he's actually going to do that before an Overlord. So going very, very heavily into Lings. Whereas Blue Ginny is actually opting to go for a back hatchery. Now the back hatchery is obviously going to be a little bit easier to defend early on, but you don't have any gas there. Now, CVZ, gas is obviously a very, very important resource. You need the gas for the Mutalisks, but I guess the main thing to point out is you're less susceptible to dying to Ling Busts because you have a smaller choke to defend. This will defend your main and your natural base. And obviously Tempest has only got one hatchery worth of production, so Tempest is going to skip Zergling speed to start with, going to go straight into that lair, going to get speed afterwards most likely. That would be the kind of standard thing to do when you go for this kind of build. Now Blue Ginny is going to actually drone scout in this game, so that's a little bit unfortunate, but he will of course see that there's no hatchery there. He's going to see the Lings, and that's probably the most important thing you can see. Now we are going to have a creep colony coming up here. The spawning pool is done, but he doesn't have any Zerglings just yet. The sunken colony going to be very, very important to his defense here, because the 6-minute curse could very well strike this game, or we could actually see a quicker game than 6 minutes the way this is looking. But the sunken colony finishes at just the right time. Going to make it very, very difficult for Tempest to actually deal with this. Now, the one benefit of going for that second base is he doesn't necessarily need to mine from these mineral fields. He does have his protected minerals. He's got his minerals at the back. There's only 5 sets of minerals here. So, long term, this base isn't the most viable base for Tempest or for Blue Ginny to take. But at the end of the day, that's all he needs to really worry about, because it's a ZVZ. It's not going to go super late game. I mean, it might do. I'm hoping that it might do. Feels he started playing StarCraft 2 months ago. Oh, StarCraft 2 months ago, okay. So that's really cool. Having new players here in the STPL is always good fun. Tim, I did say earlier, from IRK, started playing, I think, last year, and he's already S rank. So Blue Ginny definitely has a chance of coming really, really far here. Tempest isn't the most active player anyway, but third hatchery coming in here for Blue Ginny. So Blue Ginny playing very, very, very greedy here. Now we're going to see an Evo chamber coming in. It's going to be up against the Spire. He knows exactly what's going on in his opponent's base, obviously due to this Overlord. He knows, well, at least he can assume there's no second hatchery just yet. So that's kind of good. Now we do have a good number of Lings coming out here for Blue Ginny. Tempest with his own Lings at the front. Yeah, so there's been 2 things in the STPL that I don't think I've seen. I've not seen a Hive ZVZ. In fact, I've not seen, like, when I was doing Clash for Char, there was a ZVZ between True Touch and Tai 2 that went on for 45 minutes. We didn't see any Hive, but we didn't see any players losing, so they both just stayed alive forever on 2 base, which was kind of weird. But I've not seen a Hive level ZVZ either, so Season 2, after Season 1, there's still going to be many, many more chances that someone will deliver me a Hive ZVZ. And that will be a good thing, because I'm very happy. I'm very, very much looking forward to seeing exactly how all the games play out. Looking forward to, of course, the playoffs and then the grand final playoffs coming up after the final week of round 4. It looks like there's going to be a little bit of a break between round 4 and the playoffs, depending on when I'm moving house, but there's definitely going to be a break between the round 4 playoffs and the playoff, like the grand final playoffs, because there's a few assets I want to make and everything. But Blue Ginny, unfortunately, doesn't actually have Ling speed yet, so these Lings are going to be mincemeat for these Mutalisks, but obviously there's a lot of Lings. Mutalisks do a lot of damage to them, so a little bit unfortunate he moved out before speed. Imagine if speed was in, maybe this would be a different engagement, but looks like Blue Ginny going to send his Lings back. He doesn't want to lose them all to the Lings of Tempest. Nice split. A speed obviously going to allow him to escape with most of these. I mean, realistically, Blue Ginny, even though he's not doing any damage, it's going to be very hard for him to take damage right now, because there's only 4 Mutalisks. He already has a Spore at each base. Realistically, he should have... Oh my god. He's going Hydras. Hydras in a ZVZ, that's a first. Could we see a Hive ZVZ? Are we going to see Queen Hydra? Is that what we're going to see? Are we going to see some Ensnare on those Mutalisks? I don't know. But that'd be really, really sick if we did. Watch that Jade on macro. Okay. The Tempest, I mean, Tempest is doing a really good job. Obviously, he's not really able to do too much damage with his Mutalisks at the moment. Kind of surprised then he's not tried to go in and do damage. I guess he's been a little bit worried about the counterattack. He does have his second gas coming in, and that's going to be the big difference between that base and this base. Now, obviously, Blue Ginny can build lots and lots of spore colonies. He can just spend forever not dying. But he's not going to be able to get a second gas, and that's going to be the big problem. Obviously, the game could go on a very long time before that starts to matter. But Tempest is going to be able to take down the evolution chamber if he so chooses to. Oh, he gets one of the gas drones. Really nice micro there by him. The first Hydras are popping out. Here's where Tempest is kind of like, what the heck am I playing against? Because how do I deal with Hydras? Obviously, this evolution chamber going to be very important. +1 attack on the Hydra is going to be super important. Because they'll have +1, they're not going to be really doing too much damage to the Mutalisks. Looks like he should really add another spore colony here just to kind of defend this evolution chamber. But he's kind of waiting for Hydra's range to come in, I think. Yeah, I know Hydra speed, so Tempest going to be going in with a big swell of Lings, but at the same time Blue Ginny is going to be going for his own counterattack. It looks like Tempest kind of saw that coming. Now, unfortunately, the Lings get a little bit bugged out, but they are going to go back to defense, so Blue Ginny gets a little bit of a respite from all the damage. He's starting to add on more and more Hydralisks. And this is actually, I'm going to be honest, the first time I've ever seen Hydras and Mutas interact in a ZVZ in a casting setting. So I'm actually not sure how this engagement is going to go. Obviously, Mutalisks can micro around and run away from Hydras for days. But I think if the Hydras actually get a good engagement, then maybe things could look a bit different. Now, the odd thing is like usually in this situation when one player has 2 gas, the other has 1, the player with more Mutalisks wins because they just send Lings over and over again. But Hydras are actually pretty good against Lings, realistically. Now, let's see how this engagement goes, because I don't actually know. I'm actually going to hide the supplies, because I don't really want to know what's going on. Here we go. Looks like we are going to have the Hydras pulling back to this sunken colony. The Ling's doing a lot of damage, but not really all that much damage to the Hydras. The Hydra's holding strong. +1 attack. Looks like he could finish. And Blue Ginny continues to hold on with these Hydras. So, really nice job here. And certainly not a common game, like you'd not normally see Hydras versus Mutas in a ZVP, so kind of glad that we get to see that. We're actually going to see Lurkers from Tempest. We're going to have Lurkers, Mutas, and Lings against Mass Hydra. When do you ever get to see that? That's actually really sick. You know what? I'm going to give this game a thumbs up. Now, we do have the Mutalisks flying back in, not really able to find any damage because of the amount of spore colonies. You can see they're even flying anywhere near the base. Spore colonies feel like they have infinite range. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! Oh, +1 finishes! The anti-timing from Tempest, if he went in there a little bit sooner, one more volley would have stopped +1, but +1 is going to be a massive benefit here for Blue Ginny. He's actually going to heavily supply block Tempest. He's pushing forward. Could this be a Hydra victory? In STPL, the Hydra's going to fly, or the Muta's going to fly in, but they're going to melt to the +1 Hydras. Look how quickly they're dying. Muta's going down to Hydras. What is this world? Great micro by Blue Ginny, really focusing the best he can. And he's broken the front. He's going to win with Hydras. Teala's got this game. Another supply block coming in from Tempest. All the Mutalisks go down. The natural expansion's going to go down. And GG! Tempest gets taken down by Blue Ginny. Hydra's winning in a ZVP, a ZVZ even. And Blue Ginny is actually off racing as well. I feel sorry for Tempest here, but you know what? That was a fantastically played game by Blue Ginny. He held on against all odds, against way more units than he probably should have been able to deal with. His Hydra count got high enough. +1 was a single Muta volley away from being cancelled. The anti-timing by Tempest gave the Hydras the +1, and they gave him the victory most likely. That's really unfortunate. But that was a really well played by really well played game by Blue Ginny. Huge thank you, James, for the sub, or Reister, should I say. good to see you here, man. I wasn't sure you'd be watching, but Rice is actually one of my RL friends, so cool guy. Let's actually have a look at the... sorry, let's have a look at the results, just to show how that game went. So, a really, really dominating performance here by Valhalla team. I mean, I'm saying let's have a look. I need to actually change it. Here we go. And that's the wrong screen. This is what happens when I see Hydras in CVP. I don't know to switch the screens. Yeah, this is what my overlay looks like when it's not set up properly. Here we go. So, the results. We see Marine taking down TT1 in a walkover. TT1 unfortunately unable to play at the default time. SFCA taking down Hinobu. Drew taking down Faust. And Blue Genie with the Hydras in ZVZ taking down Tempest to win the game 4-0 for Valhalla team. Now, let's actually quickly have a look back at the rankings. Obviously, they've not been updated yet. I can't actually do that until we get into the like after the game thing. I need to fix that. But if we look at how that changes things, Valhalla team will now find themselves just above DM. So DM are going to need to win. Obviously, Valhalla team are not going to be able to qualify because Bull team are already on 4-2. So DM are going to have to win with a good margin. In fact, they only need to win with +1 to actually take us into a tiebreaker match. So I wonder if we'll get a tiebreak. It's been a long... The only time we've ever had a tiebreak match in the STPL was actually in round 1, where IRK took down Soul and White, but then tied for White first place in the group. So I'm not sure if we'll see a tiebreak match. We'll find out when we come back with some more STPL. That's going to be on Monday, same time, same place. Huge thank you to all the support I've had today, to any new subs, to all the new followers, to everyone who's tuned in. We've seen some fantastic games. Let's hope we see some more next time. Have a very good weekend, everyone. And do tune in to the EGM Fight Night tomorrow. I think it's called EGM Fight Night. I can't remember. It should be a lot of fun. So see you guys next time.